Hello viewers, this is BracketNeutron here. Yeah, I'm not doing that little jokey name switch I typically do for my introductions this time. That means that this video will be touching a more serious subject matter, something that for the past year has been inescapable if you have been active on social media. An epidemic that has gotten so out of hand it's starting to affect the mainstream to unimaginable levels. Call-out culture. Keep in mind, I want to make it clear that the mere concept of calling out others in an aggressive manner is okay. In a way, I'll be doing that exact sort of thing here. Two core values I hold when it comes to this sort of thing are context and intent. The crowd that will be talked about goes as far against those virtues as possible, just for the sake of morality or fighting oppression or whatever. And again, there is absolutely nothing wrong with calling out oppressive behavior. In some cases, I encourage it if it's severe enough. Just saying in case someone tries to paint me as one of those sheeple. I myself don't have a really good track record in terms of politics. A few years ago, I was bordering on far-right free speech warrior, hence why I flocked to VidMe when YouTube announced its limited state provisions, and Gab when Twitter planned on tracking cookies to ban others.
Oh, the bloody irony. You really do fail at being advertiser-friendly in your average Hillary supporter's eyes.
Shut the group up! Hillary should have won because she was a woman, and for no reason. Chauvinist supporters are racist, sexist, misogynistic, homophobic, xenophobic, transphobic, and patriarchal scum! I hate white people, so poop off!
Someone who's an outsider and has only discovered me from this older work can target me as some sort of alt-right nitwit based off those political views that, for the most part, I don't hold anymore. On top of that, they can manipulate an entire fanbase to believe I still hold these frankly terrible values nowadays. And if it's not for something like formerly being a right-winger, it could be that some art I made or liked was considered problematic. They'll do the old song and dance by calling me some demeaning buzzword and block me based off association. Can you see the huge guilt by association mentality they're holding with these statements? Well, it's really common on places such as Twitter and Tumblr. Not only that, but there's assumptions made about who they're targeting if they're really desperate. I can partly blame this on the attention economy here, and the Facebook-Google digital advertising duopoly if I refer to hit pieces written by trustworthy journalistic outlets. This is why clickbait is as bad as it is. The digital market's technically been taken over by two large entities. But backing away from my political opinion on the matter, the fields usually hit by these annoyances do vary, mostly in the entertainment business. Notable examples include the following: Kevin Hart having to step down as this year's Oscar host due to homophobic jokes from almost 10 years ago, James Gunn being fired from Disney because of pedophilia jokes, which he disowned years prior, granted, he did get rehired later, and Hot Diggity Demon, who was considered to be every vile thing imaginable and had his Twitter account permabanned to my knowledge. You could argue the validity of those claims all you like, but it doesn't change the damaging effects that can spark from this mindset. One of the worst kinds, in my opinion, are those who actively search notable people's social media to find dirt. This tactic is often referred to as deep diving. Social media was once thought as a playground, but it has turned into a perpetual war zone and a permanent stalemate. Again, blame the attention economy. The thing with roughly 90% of the posts that have been dug up by the stuck-up groups is that they are very often disowned. Especially if you're just starting out, you are bound to say something screwed up without even realizing it, before being called out 10 or so years after you did it. Because the data is still publicly accessible, you can still be held accountable and liable for your boasts. The exact reason why Hart and Gunn were forced out of their former or upcoming positions. The situation gets way worse when it's pinned on basic nobodies who don't have anything to lose in their career path. On a whim, some rando can make damning accusations, which basically kills any chance of you getting a decent job. This is why I want to try and separate my typical social media work from real life. The last thing you want to share a job client is an account featuring questionable or objectionable postings, especially if you were at one point called a racist, sexist, or a pedophile. I'll remind you again that in general, call-out posts are not a bad thing. Many do serve a good purpose and are correct based off of pre-existing information. Still, it's annoying when the same audience can be tricked into believing something based off of popularity. Those, for the most part, are fake news spread by people who seek revenge or don't know about the consequences. In my opinion, the worst kinds of call-out posts are the baseless ones regarding pedophilia. Now, I'm no stranger to slamming more genuine or at least alleged pedophiles. Ben the Looney commentary plug here. However, there is still a level of uncertainty I have as to whether they are genuine pedos. Ben the Looney being no exception to this. I don't want to defend any child porn artists too much. They are appropriating sick and damaging behaviors. Here's the thing, some random profiles have been targeted for their non-CP work by association. A common argument I see is that the other work they draw, typically cute stuff, is used to groom minors. Which at least sounds partly reasonable if you know history. Given there are many who pretend to be victims, you should take claims such as that with a grain of salt unless there is actual evidence behind it, i.e. Toon Critic. I mainly say those are the worst because of the irreparable career and reputation damage that Callout will likely lead to. Given the James Gunn situation last year, though as of me writing the script that's been reverted, any report of that nature within a large enough scope will basically get you blacklisted, even if it was jokingly done or denounced by the creator. This need not apply to those who were actually convicted of genuine sexual abuse or pedophilia. I do believe those people deserve to be ousted. Most of these callouts are just rumors or something that allegedly happened, sometimes made up for publicity. Might as well read a few examples of callout posts I found, and respond to each one. I mean, what good is there in saying something if you don't show it? At least it'll give you an idea on how low society can be. Then again, we live in a society. Some of these aren't exactly direct callouts, but they're still similar, so I'm gonna read them.
Still working on getting the plushes rolling, and I was just thinking, I don't want people who don't agree with trans people to own my plush, or any of my future merch for that matter. I just don't want them owning nice things I make. I don't think they deserve it.
Look, I admit that there are many genuine transphobes out there. Most users on sites like Twitter despise them for good reason. This thread doesn't sound too bad at first. Okay, except for the part where it implies you need to agree with anything a trans person says like they're high gods. I know that's not what they meant, it's just a poor choice of words, but it gets worse with each added tweet.
If I'm building a brand with income and influence, you bet your ass I'm going to be pushing more pro-queer and pro-environmental agendas.
Nice virtues, but you don't need to hammer your socio-political views too much. That would likely turn people away from your merch that aren't in the same mindset. Then again, exclusion only works when you're progressive.
Every single man taboo is canonically pro-trans, cause I said so.
Ugh, not that phrase again.
Also, yet to reveal, but my logo and brand name is very gay, so hopefully it'll act as insect repellent to anti-LGBT plus people. Distinctly gay, but also universal, so I'm excited to show it off eventually.
Oh my god, you're just furthering the queer stereotypes with your future plans. That's pretty detrimental if you want LGBT people to be viewed as equals. Sounds a lot like the being gay is a personality ideology. Okay, next.
Making Gookie darker than the other two is racist. Black people have been compared to monkeys and apes as a way to dehumanize us and make us seem unintelligent and feral. Making a Grookey Gijinka with dark skin is racist, whether you knew that or not. Please refrain from making this mistake again.
Factually, this does seem to be on the right side of history. What I don't like about this is their manner of criticizing the material. When would someone look at this more human-faced version of Grookey and pick a racist viewpoint off of the artwork? It was specifically done to match the color scheme, not to dehumanize people who have dark skin. Then again, someone's likely to complain if they were all white because it's not diverse enough. They never win. But hey, props for not going full-on angry mode.
Hey, can you not support Kiki Flipnote, aka the original poster of this post, cause he's a trans misogynist who made a video of Animal Crossing Villager in a dress making it out like a joke, and it has a really fucked up DeviantArt description of a clip from that.
That was a video which came out in the summer of 2013. Wow, that was a simpler time. More than 5 years since they worked on that fan art for Pokemon starters. I'd say next to the fake or baseless allegations of pedophilia, this is the second worst take. Inability to separate art from the artist is becoming all too common. It's so easy to manipulate an audience when they're deliberately not told of the original video's release date. The caught looking at child porn starter pack.
Hey, what does centrism have to do with this? Being a centrist is generally the standpoint of straight, white cis males who have the luxury of not caring about politics, because none of it really affects them.
Given the manosphere, I think you're talking out of your ass here. Oh, and no need to throw in your generalized political beliefs in this either. Seems to be a common theme with these call-out posts. Pedophilia isn't exclusive to centrists, obviously. But don't worry, not all atrocious call-out posts are more liberal or left-wing in their beliefs. Here's one on kind of the opposite side.
SJWs and man-hating feminists, stay the fuck away from my Japanese culture, anime and manga, and video games!
Protect my culture sounds like an SJW ideal to me. Are you sure you aren't complaining about yourself? I can't even fathom how greasy your neck grid might be. Ew. Callouts can also be directed to platforms and corporations, as shown with the recent outcry of the Momo Challenge. Supposedly, there were videos on the YouTube Kids app which contained threatening imagery and messages randomly interrupting actual kid-friendly content. So far, this has not been confirmed as true. It was spread around Facebook and then perpetuated by potential trolls. This could be damaging given this was set up as a PR stunt, especially knowing YouTube's already dealing with an ongoing pedophile problem, and not doing a good job at fixing that either. There was also this strange Arby's chibi waifu thing only a few weeks ago that got some pretty bad publicity. She's got ketchup hair, that's all you need to know. I've heard people interpret this character as a minor, despite an official statement confirming that not to be true. She's 54, which, looking at it, does sound a little bit like a shield. There was even this one person who saw it as potentially racist and misogynist for using the term waifu. Out of all the problems with this promotion, I feel like that's not one of the major ones. I just see the announcement as a bad case of pandering for commercial gain, like a lot of other people do. Overall, I'd say you should try your best to stay clear of call-out posts with bitter intent or baseless accusations. It is likely you still will come across some, so I suggest muting the users behind them from your feed. And I can't stress this enough, do not dismiss all forms of call-out posts. We need good ones to progress as a species and to make change. Anyways, as long as Article 13 isn't approved, I'll see you all next time. Adios.